check out our YouTube channel.
Yes, YouTube.
Honey Wagon Magic Hour.
Yes, that's
You have to whisper the Magic Hour.
ooh,
That's
ASMR.
yeah.
That's a little bit ASMR.
Honey Wagon
Magic Hour.
That's how we do it. Donald Petrie.
Donald Petrie.
We're just talking about that guy.
Yeah,
New Yorker gets a lot of Chicago work.
he does.
They're basically the same place.
I've heard this. Pizzas, they
Silly accents.
talk funny.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of interesting that he was a director of Mystic Pizza, 1988 film. It was quite a dish. You could call it a Petri dish.
That's my joke, sir. How dare you?
Were you gonna say it?
No, but now I'm kind of upset.
That
But
is
no,
kind of in your wheelhouse.
We were looking at someone for RQDQ this week, and the name Christian Haydenson was thrown around, and we looked at one of the last films he did, 2018.
Who's Christian Hayden?
Is that what I don't know. Isn't that Anakin? What did I say? Haydenson?
Haydenson.
Did I really say that?
You said Christian Haydenson.
This Bailey's is kicking in, I guess.
Well,
Anyway, he was in a film, not Mystic Pizza.
no,
I forget what it was called.
Little Italy.
Little Italy.
Yeah.
Not to be confused with Chicago or New York or even L.A., but
No,
is there a Little Italy here? I don't think so.
there's a little everything here. You
Not
get a
a
little
little-
bit of everything.
There's no Little Italy in L.A.
There's no Little Italy here.
Where is it?
I don't know.
There's Filipino Town.
There's Koreatown.
There's K-Town. There's Little Tokyo.
Little Armenia.
Oh, jeez, let's not go there.
I wasn't.
That's just all of Hollywood, basically.
That's in the span of one block.
Right.
Wow,
There's Germantown.
really?
Maybe not.
No, 9.
9.
No. So,
But anyway, it looks like a very good film about a Canadian pizza family that
a pizza fan.
that's what it said, that gets in trouble for lacing their pies with marijuana for some reason.
How timely.
I know. I thought that was legal in Canada. I don't know. Anyway, looks interesting. It's
Well,
on my list.
We will talk about Hayden Christensen or Christian Haydenson.
Thank you.
Later on in the episode. I do want to say one thing about Indiana Jones.
Okay.
Kind of clear that up.
Sure. We got we're talking about the news, and as things do, it's changed rather quickly since then. So,
Yep. Late breaking news. Steven Spielberg is no longer directing Indiana Jones 5. As a result, people are wondering what's the point. Harrison Ford has still, as of the recording of this, has said that he wants to still do it. George Lucas is not involved with it, I believe. So in the end, it's pretty much what's the point? And I don't know if there is a point. So we just wanted to at least say that we are aware of the situation.
sure.
And that we wanted to respond to the situation. But when we know, you will know.
Yeah, and we'll see what happens. Hopefully nothing.
Hopefully nothing.
Hopefully we'll all just move on with our lives.
Yes. But for this week, our second.
We've
our
made it
second
to number 2.
We have made it.
Some would say we're making a number 2 right now.
Don't forget to flush, folks.
Don't forget to buy your. Don't forget to support your local troop.
And we what we'll do this week is we are going to inform you of what we're going to talk about. First thing is going to be about Ricky Gervais, and we'll talk about him for a little bit.
Great.
After that, yeah,
Great.
And then we're going to talk about the Academy Awards,
Oh.
and then finally wrap it up with an RQ disqualified, or RQDQ for short, on Hayden Christensen. That's right.
Yes.
Anyway.
Oh, we are talking about him.
Yeah, we should.
Who were the other names we threw around?
Well, one of the other names that I had was the kid from, I don't remember his name, but the kid from Flight of the Navigator. But
Oh,
you
sure,
hadn't
yeah.
really seen that.
Another Canadian, right?
Another Canadian.
Very Canadian heavy week.
Yeah. No, it's one of the other people. Brendan Fraser was up there.
Brendan Fraser.
Fraser and Brender. Brazer. I think what we could probably do is we have a growing list, or cyst, I can't remember the difference, of people that we will talk about, as well as topics that we will talk about. But as far as this week is concerned, I don't mind talking about Hayden. I mean,
We'll stick to Hayden Christensen.
pretty timely considering
Wait, what is his name then?
Hayden Christensen.
That's what I said.
You said Christian Haydenson.
Oh.
And
That just sounds better, though.
it does. It sounds more like a name. Anyway, we'll. I definitely want to leave that in there because
We'll get there.
That was good.
We'll get there.
So Ricky. This is something that you had brought up before because he's been in the news lately. What's the deal with Ricky Gervais?
Well, we've always been fans of his work. In fact, we often talked about extras and what was the other show?
The Office.
The Office. So always big fans, but I guess the news, the press he's been getting is just in regards to his latest rounds on the not the talk shows, but on the award shows, and how he keeps getting these gigs, although probably not anymore, where he just gets up there and just makes fun of the entire system and all the people involved and how nobody cares about their ideas, and it seems to go over well enough with audiences. But you were saying how a lot of those celebrities, especially A-listers, can't really they don't really have a sense of humor about themselves. They take their craft very seriously.
Yeah.
So when someone a Brit comes in and says these sorts of things, people get a little touchy about it. They're sensitive.
Well, I don't want to lump everybody into the same category.
No, please do.
Okay.
Please do. That's what we do here.
We do. Generalities here.
Sure.
I feel that there are probably a fair number of celebrities that take themselves very seriously, and I can appreciate that. And there are celebrities that like to joke around, and they can handle that. Just kind of depends on the thickness of their skin, I guess. But I think with Ricky,
I thought you were going to say the thickness of their accents.
Well,
English accents.
With a heavier English accent, there's a lot more. I think there's a lot more strength if you have a heavy English accent.
I think you can get away with a lot more, actually.
I do too. You can hide a lot of bad acting with an English accent.
Yeah.
But only if you're English, not if you're American trying to do an English accent.
Like Princess Leia.
Well, yes, and Keanu Reeves in Dracula. You can really tell when people don't know how to do an English accent and they're Americans. That showcases their poor acting. Whereas if you're British and doing a British accent, it's a win-win.
Everything sounds great.
Everything sounds wonderful. Ricky has been saying things that seem to stoke the flame or stir the pot or any other kind of...
Stoke the pot.
Stoke the pot.
Stir the flames.
Stir the flames.
It's
and
our death metal band, Stir the Flames.
For Ricky, he seems to... This is nothing new for him. Like, he's always said things that were inciting, and he likes doing it. He doesn't shy away from controversy. It's part of his brand almost. Does he go too far sometimes? I mean, maybe perhaps sometimes he does, but it's the same kind of thing when we talk about liking people like Bill Burr. He can say things that in someone else's hands would be like, wow, you seem borderline something-ist,
Sure.
But in Bill's hands, these comedians develop a persona over the years, and you're just kind of like, I'm in on the joke, or I understand that he's joking around. And the level of sarcasm or satirical wit is, I don't think that's lost on Ricky, but it seems to be lost on a lot of other people.
Sure.
But for the most part, I think sometimes people have maybe too thin a skin. I think there is a definite line for comedy.
Well, do you think the Oscars will ever go hostless at this point?
They already have gone host. They went hostless last year.
Then what the hell was Ricky Gervais doing there? He's just a presenter?
Well, Rick, you mean this year?
Full disclosure, I haven't watched the Academy Awards in probably 20 years. So
I watched it a number of years ago.
I would say I stopped watching when they moved it out of the Shrine. I was very upset with that.
I bet you were.
He used to be at the Shrine.
Well, you had money and you had investments in the Shrine, and then they moved it out.
Great.
We'll talk about the Academy Awards in just a second, but or at least a few seconds. But I think when Ricky was this year, he did the Golden Globes.
Oh, see, I don't know what I'm talking about.
It's okay. That's what I'm here for.
That's true.
So you support me when I don't know what I'm talking about.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
And
Wait, did the Academy Awards happen, right? Oh, yeah, they did. That's
yeah.
right. That's right. The Parasite controversy.
Yeah,
Very
whatever,
controversial.
Whatever controversy. Yeah, okay. The now for Ricky to comment, all of these things were on the Golden Globes, but then of course he has a Twitter account, so he continues to poke fun at people. I guess what he's just trying to do is call people out for having maybe some social justice
Opinions, yeah.
but at the same time, Ricky will just point out the hypocrisy. Ricky will point out
hiccupocracy.
the hiccupocracy.
I think we need some of that Academy Awards music to play you out. Actually,
Yeah,
for both of
probably-
us. Sometimes when
probably.
we go on too long, we just hit the button.
We should. Now, is Ricky wrong? I don't know. Time will tell. We'll see.
Who cares?
Who cares?
Who cares?
Who cares?
There's our reference for
Every
today.
episode we have that Die Hard
Thank you.
reference.
Thank you.
Next up is the Academy Awards, and as per usual, I did not watch it, and neither did you.
I don't think anybody did.
It is down in the ratings. I feel like it keeps getting
It goes
lower
down
and
every
lower.
year. I think it's just the people that are in the Academy that watch it at this point.
A little bit of a backstory about the Academy Awards and just award shows in general. I feel that if I was up for an award, I probably would be more invested in it, but I am not. So I am not invested in it, and I think that the reason it was actually probably a good moment for me. Saving Private Ryan. That was the movie that finally broke the Academy Awards for me. So when I was listening to the results, and Saving Private Ryan was a movie that I really enjoyed, lost Best Picture, it made me think, wow, this is just wrong. I think that a lot of people have their own, the day the Academy Awards died for them.
The Academy Awards was like one day a year we could see all of these celebrities come together and
Sure.
see what they're wearing and who's going to win. We're all going to root for our movies. But nowadays, with again social media and everything, it's like we're so used to seeing these people every day now and hearing their opinions and thoughts and actually interacting with them. So I think like less people care. It's not as big a deal anymore. It's like,
That's a pretty good point.
why should I tune in and watch this thing on TV? I can just go on Twitter and make fun of whatever actor I want or see what so and so is saying. I don't know.
That's true. I don't even do
Nothing
that.
has the same gravitas as it used to.
Well, yeah. I mean, that's a big conversation, but I think that you're right in terms of the amount of exposure that we have to celebrity lifestyle. I mean, it's always been there, but now we can gorge on it on lots of different platforms. The thing about what the stars are wearing. I wondered when Anthony Hopkins went to the award show for
Silence of the Lambs.
Silence of the Lambs, and they're like, "Who are you wearing, Anthony?" He's like, "Officer Pembry." I thought maybe he would have said that. I doubt that he did.
That's like straight out of an episode of The Critic.
And it
That
should
would
be.
have been
Yeah, well, I mean,
cut to.
Critic is great.
I love that show.
So
We're going to talk about TV at some point.
we'll definitely talk about TV.
That's going to be an entire episode.
But to talk about, to at least further push this Academy Awards thing, I just don't care about the Academy Awards or award shows in general. I don't have anything against anybody that watches them. I don't, it's like what they want to do, and more power to
Sure.
you. But for a movie like Parasite to win the Academy Awards, I mean, I do want to see the movie. I'm interested in the film. I'm not going to be, excuse me, bad mouthing it because I haven't seen it. I saw some other films that were nominated. I like some. I didn't like others. We can talk about that later. Very controversial.
I'm sure you're always stirring
I
controversy.
am a lightning rod for controversy. But yeah, I mean, I'm looking forward to watching Parasite. And you know what? If it's great, cool. And if it's not, great. There's just too many other things that I think are more important than if a movie were to win a statue or not. I would say though that I think that it's positive that I do not have a problem with a foreign film winning Best Picture. That does not.
It was the first time, right?
Yes.
Did it win both categories, best foreign
believe
and best?
so, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, I could understand why people in the industry would be upset about that,
Mm-hmm.
but like outside, like who cares? I don't care. Unless there's a clear, distinct rule in the bylaws of the Academy saying you cannot win a foreign language film cannot win Best Picture. Like, I don't think that was ever a thing.
I would say that it's not a thing.
So then, who cares?
As long as
Who cares?
I mean, maybe we could. I do kind of want to see.
Should
a
we call the
movie like-
Academy? And find this out.
You know what? On our other show, I definitely think we could call
Ring,
the
ring.
Academy.
Hello?
Hello, Academy.
Hello, Academy.
Yeah.
We're kind of wondering.
Do you have a moment to go through your bylaws with us? Absolutely. Hold on, let me get the book.
Oh, you still use a book? You don't have it on a database
I'm
or
gonna
anything
write
like
this
that?
down.
A data what? Yeah. I don't have a. I don't have any problems with people that whatever. Anyway.
And we're back.
And we're back.
Ara
We-
and Andrew and Ara.
And, there we go. I'm too slow on the uptake for that one, I think.
It's okay.
Last segment of the show is going to be our RQDQ. Last week we talked about Emilio Estevez. And that wasn't a true
Estevez. No,
Estevez. It wasn't a true RQDQ. I do like the guy.
it's hard to have a discussion when one half of our group is obsessed with this person.
I wouldn't say obsessed, but genuinely, I guess obsessed is fine. That's fine.
I watched 16 hours of interviews.
And
I'll never say anything negative about this man. He just wants to be left alone.
well, what is one of the people on the in the interview that I had watched? Molly Ringwald called him the Greta Garbo of was it Greta Garbo? No. See, it's what it is, I can't bring it up. No, there was I think it was Greta Garbo of the Breakfast Club or something like that, or of the Brat Pack. It's just like she had famously said, "I want to be alone," So she like went away, and Emilio's like, "No, I don't want to be alone. I'm just not interested in things from the past. I'm moving forward," which
Good for him.
is kind of an insult to everyone else that's dwelling in the past. But whatever. I remember Edward Furlong was another person that we were talking about. We'll do him next week.
Oh, sure.
Anyway, so for this week, let's talk for RQDQ. Let's talk about Hayden Christensen.
Sure.
Mm-hmm. Ara, what do you want to say about dear old Hayden?
Well, I just learned his name today, so that's a start. Look, there's not much we can say. Obviously, anytime you get involved with a franchise as big as Star Wars, you pretty much know. Most people know where that's going to go, I guess. Mm-hmm. You kind of get typecast. It doesn't help that it was such a poorly written movie or series of movies, to the point that he and his performance was critically panned. Again,
What are you talking about?
we don't know if that's his choices or the direction or the writing or probably a combination of all three. But there was some fan forgiveness happening. I'm sure we talked about it at some point, where the fans were like demanding that Hayden get another chance and insisting he be in this new series of films, which I guess he appeared in only voice work. But so the last Star Wars film came out what year? 2012? No.
The what?
What year did Episode 3 come out?
2005.
Yeah, I was close. Okay. Has it been that long? Jeez. So since then, we had to look him up because neither of us could name one movie that he had done since then. And he still continues. Is that true? Am I just making it up?
I don't know if you're making it up.
But you could name a film he did since 2005 before we looked it up?
Yes.
Oh, all right. Well, that's
just
you, though.
just one.
Okay.
Just
was
one.
It
I could think of three.
was it the Little Italy one?
No, it was the Jumper. I knew about that. I remember
Smoke
watching
Jumper,
that.
Sure.
Yeah, and then Shattered Glass, and
Shattered Glass sounds like another Friday night to me.
yeah,
Oh.
And no, I can't. No, you're putting me on the spot. I can't remember the other one.
Anyway, the point is, he continues to work actually quite regularly. It's just nobody is seeing his films. But I don't know. I feel like he was another one of those guys that was also like known for being handsome, and is also getting older now. So he's in his 40s. So maybe the only way for him to kind of transition back is to, find that he's got to find that role where it's no longer maybe like a leading man romantic type role. He's got to do something a little bit edgy. Someone's got to put faith in him. But again, I don't know if he's a good actor or not. I really don't know his work well enough. All I know him is as Anakin, and I thought those movies were terrible. So,
Yeah.
but I don't know whose fault that was.
Well, was anyone that was in those prequels, was anyone good?
Ewan McGregor, I think was decent. I don't think he was like amazing. Like everyone's like, oh my God, he's the best Obi-Wan. He did the best with what he was given.
Yeah.
I mean, who else was okay in that? I actually like the guy. I don't know his name. The guy or General Organa, who adopts Leia. I like that actor. I don't know his name. He's barely in it, but he's in every film for like 5 minutes. I like that guy.
Yeah. What about the Emperor, Ian McDiarmid?
He's always the same. It's fine. He was the most dynamic and the most interesting because he's playing this dual character.
Yeah.
But yeah, he's always fine. He's the fucking emperor. What are you gonna do?
Well, that's maybe that's the thing. A lot has been said. I'm not a fan of the prequels, and for that matter, Star Wars in general. I'm a casual fan. I'm not a huge like, oh my God, everything's Star Wars. I enjoyed. We've talked about the original trilogy. We both like the original trilogy. I do think that there are, faults with it, but I think it's a very influential, piece of work. And I don't know. I would not want to not watch it. But when it comes to, these prequels, it was like I was super excited to see it when the Phantom Menace when it came out. I was probably slightly disappointed in it. I didn't know what to expect. I thought it looked a little cartoonish. I was definitely a lot more into like this next wave of science fiction movies or fantasy type movies that would come out. Like The Matrix came out in the same year, and I thought that was like a really nice film. A nice film. I thought that was a little bit more interesting. Even that got tiring, after a while. But the thing about Star Wars with Episode 2 is a very, very hyped role. A lot of people wanted that role. And there was an open casting call. I remember that.
I thought you were going to say an open casket call.
There was an open casket.
That about sums it up.
Pretty much anyone that takes these Star Wars roles,
except for Natalie Portman, she turned out fine.
Well,
she's not a great actress. She's all right, I guess. Sorry, Natalie, if you're listening to this.
Yeah,
I love you.
Well,
not really.
I can't say, but to keep the idea of a Star Wars space type analogy is like Star Wars is kind of like a black hole, and it will suck away someone's career with no chance for survival unless you are incredibly lucky or you found a way to change your change your craft a little bit. Mark Hamill did it. The movies that he did outside of Star Wars are largely forgettable. I mean, I can think of only. This is not great. I can only think of 2 movies that he made outside of Star Wars. And one of them was a parody of himself in the Kevin Smith movie.
Jay and Silent Bob,
right. But he found so much more life playing the Joker and doing other voice work. And that's he reinvented himself. So good for him. Harrison Ford is kind of, he did other stuff.
I haven't really heard much from him either.
I know.
It's a really shame. He had a bright future.
Carrie Fisher found work as a writer. She had done writing gigs and things like that.
Punching up scripts, as they say.
Right. And George Lucas, even for him, like, whatever happened with that guy. So when they were coming out with...
he went on to ruin Indiana Jones and other properties.
That's true. To talk about actors that go in there, Natalie Portman did survive, but she was already a person before that.
She was. Child actor.
Yep. And so was Liam Neeson, and so was Ewan McGregor. people who had careers before that survived. People who started their career with Star Wars seemingly died.
Yeah.
That's just, it's sad. But Jake Lloyd, he got so much hate. Hayden Christensen, no, I can't say it. Hayden Christensen got so much hate. I don't think he's a great actor. I think he can deliver George Lucas's lines very well, but that's not saying much.
Right.
I have no idea what that's saying.
I don't know. That Jake Lloyd was in the news recently too.
Yeah, he's been having
He's
some
like,
problems.
I think he's in rehab. He checked back in or something. But he also, I think he was like bipolar. So
I think he's schizophrenic.
Oh, even that's tough.
So, it doesn't help when people are like, trolling him,
Oh no.
which I'm not gonna do. But
He'll be on next week actually. So
do we get him?
just buttering him up. Yeah.
Perfect. A lot of buttering up going on
Look,
here.
we talked about margarine last time. I think I need some toast.
So, was there anything else that you wanted to say about Hayden? Actually, what would it take to get him back? Yes, let's wrap it up.
He's got to do something edgy, something. He's got to be a bad guy. He's got to be the bad guy in a horror film or something, or he's got to star in a porno. I don't know. Those are his options.
Do they still make those things?
Pornos?
Yeah.
I don't think they call them pornos. I think I'm dating myself.
Oh,
Hey, you got to check out this great porno cassette I got. Porno.
cassette.
Yeah. It's not Pornhub. It's Pornhub. They just lost the O. As time goes on, we just clip the ends of words off.
Oh,
That's what happens to the English language.
is that what?
That's what happens. Case in point, porno is now shortened to porn.
I see.
I don't know. Look, maybe he could try his hand at directing too. I don't know.
Yeah, it's hard to say.
He did a lot of voice work.
One of
the Clone Wars.
One of the
animated
things
series.
that he's at least got going for him is that he's not wrapped up in like drugs, or he hasn't, at least from what we've seen in our extensive 5-minute research of the guy.
It's very extensive. Seems like a nice guy.
Yeah, he doesn't seem to have done anything to like piss people off. He's not doing these drunken rants or stealing cars or anything like that. So I mean, he still has an opportunity. It's just, what's the right role, and that's hard to say.
Well, I think we figured it out. His agent has got to sit him down and look, Christian, you either gotta be the Reaper in Reaper 7 or star in this porno film that I'm making in my garage with a green screen. You're used to green screen. You like green screens.
So his agent
has a green screen in his garage and is saying either you play a bad guy or play a porno.
Does his agent also not know his name? Hey, Christian?
I knew I should have gone with that Agent Orange. I don't know.
Yeah. Speaking of oranges, did you see the earlier before the show when the car drove up, stopped off along the street? Not your house.
I saw it.
House a little bit down the way.
For a very specific purpose.
Yeah.
Look, citrus theft is a serious thing, and it happens all the time in Los Angeles.
Is it?
Yeah.
Would you say that it's a growing problem?
Literally
A growing problem.
Growing on trees.
Yeah.
I've thought about it,
Okay.
about stealing citrus. But
you have your own trees.
the closest I came was the tangerines that were hanging over my fence.
You have tangerines hanging over your fence?
Mm-hmm.
Someone has a tangerine? Oh, I thought you said nectarine. I'm sorry.
I don't know. It's the
Even
same
though I
thing.
said tangerine,
What's the difference?
I meant, one of them is citrus. The other is a, what do they call those things? Stone fruit? What are those things called? With the pit.
Yeah,
That's-
stone fruit,
that's
like
stone
a
fruit.
peach.
Yeah, nectarines are stone fruit then.
Oh, nectarines. Right.
Nectarines,
Yeah, that's
right.
right. They're like loser peaches.
Loser peaches. They're better than peaches.
I think they're not fuzzy, right?
They're not
just,
fuzzy.
They have the peachy goodness, but without the fuzzy.
Right, and they're a little bit smaller than
Those
peaches.
are pretty good. I can get down with nectarines.
Yeah. I noticed that you got a new motorcycle today.
I did.
Yeah, when I drove up here outside the Burbank Airport,
Yeah.
which is where we are filming again,
Sure.
I noticed that you had a brand new motorcycle.
I do. I got it from this guy named Craig. He's got
Yeah.
this amazing list that he keeps online. It was free or best offer.
Oh, what did you do?
I ended up giving him $1,000.
Oh, that's very nice of you.
Yeah, it was a good deal.
That was the least you could do.
This is the very least.
Well, yeah, I suppose it's the very least.
Now,
so you leased it?
No, it's a rent with an option to lease.
Very good.
Yes.
Very good. Well,
I guess that about wraps up episode 2.
yep. I'm gonna put that one in the ground.
Seem to be really gelling.
Yeah. Jelly.
Speaking of gel,
Okay.
it's what we call a segue.
Oh, I like that. Let's nip this one in the bud.
Yeah.
And stick a fork in it.
And more fruit terminology.
And yes, I do like the fruit terminology. And I think we'll just wrap this up. We'll see you all next week, or listen to you.
Sure.
You'll listen to us.
Somebody will listen. Well, thank you, Andrew.
Thank you, Ara.
All right.
All right. Bye bye.